Brock,
Yeah.
I'm going to ask you a very simple question.
Yeah.
On this 39th episode of the Rebel Scum podcast. What is your favorite Star Wars film?
Ewoks Battle for Endor.
That a canon. Let's go non-legends on this one.
Non-legends.
What is your favorite?
Oh, Return of the Jedi.
Return of the Jedi. So now I knew that was going to be your answer.
Yeah.
Surprise!
Well, we've been doing this for 39 episodes.
39. Yeah, that's 39. And more, but if you
Yep.
count all the stuff we did at Celebration. So I want to ask you now, Return of the Jedi. What Jedi are returning? What does that mean? Return of the Jedi.
Oh, good question. I think the easiest answer is Luke becomes the Jedi, and he is the first of a new Jedi to come in a long time. Even though Yoda is still alive, and you could
So it's the
argue,
resurgence of the Jedi
yeah,
orders.
it's returned to the old format, I guess.
So, but what if it's Anakin? What if it's Vader turning back to Anakin and becoming a Jedi once again, and that's the return?
That works as well. I think the easiest answer is Luke because he's our main character. We follow him through the whole thing. But you make a very good point. It could be that as well.
So, the Last Jedi.
Yes.
What does that mean?
Who knows, man? Like, because we don't know much. That's what we've been. I mean, that's the whole point of this podcast, to talk about that stuff. I feel like I'm just rehashing stuff I've said before. It's like I think it's ambiguous. I mean, I could easily say, "Oh, they're over, they're done," because we saw a trailer with Luke silhouetted in a cave saying, "It's time for the Jedi to end."
Well,
So-
we're gonna get into more Last Jedi talking a little bit. I'm James. This is
Brock.
and as we said, this is the Rebel Scum podcast, episode number 39.
Yeah.
We are back from beautiful, sunny Orlando, Florida.
Yeah.
And we have been welcomed to rain on top of rain.
April flowers, spring May showers. Wait,
Yeah,
that's not it.
No, hopefully these showers do end very soon because I'm tired of them.
It's not snow, so who cares?
It's a great point.
Yeah.
Okay, before we get the show going on, we want to thank everybody that said hi to us at Star Wars Celebration.
Hi.
And for everybody that has purchased the T-shirts from our site, that's been pretty awesome too.
Yeah,
we have the old ones that you can get, which you can take a look at right here. Boom.
Cool.
These are the ones. They were only supposed to be up for a little while, but there's going to be a huge sale on our store Wednesday until Friday, the 26th to 28th. There's a sale. All the T-shirts are $14, and we also have these ones coming up too. You can get,
Ooh la la.
you can get your full Brock shirt, which I know a lot of people have asked for a full Brock shirt.
No, they haven't.
It's the number one asked for shirt.
By your dad.
By my dad. My dad has a shirt with our faces on it.
That is crazy.
You would think so. And you can also tweet us at Rebel Scumcast, and be sure that if you do get a shirt, when you get a shirt, to tweet it out, hashtag Rebel Scum. You can also get this.
Hit fan
this tweet
favorite.
one. You can't
Bring
get this
back
one
tea.
here. Right, I'm wearing this because we were talking about it, but bring back tea. You wore that at Celebration.
Yeah.
And nobody knew who it was.
No one stopped me. I was a little annoyed.
Everyone was like, why does that guy have?
I really wanted to.
I think people think you were wearing a Fraggle Rock shirt.
I wore it on the wrong day. I wore it on the day I didn't spend a ton of time at the Star Wars show. I was up at the stage. I could have got that dude's attention. That would have been so sweet.
Yeah, but you didn't because...
No, because I'm an adult and I have better things to do.
All right, let's move on to the show because we got a lot to talk about. It's jam-packed because there's a little movie coming out called Star Wars The Last Jedi.
Ooh la la.
Episode 8, The Last Jedi. For the old timers, I want to still call them episodes, or just The Last Jedi for the young kids out there, the younglings, if you will, that are going to get slaughtered by Anakin Skywalker. Later on.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of saying episodes.
And neither was I. When the prequels came out, that was the one thing I was like,
Just drop it. Call it Phantom Menace. The end.
I understood why they did it. They want you to know that it's
Oh,
the
yeah,
first
yeah,
part.
yeah.
So it's marketing. It's all marketing. So
It's all marketing.
something came to my attention actually.
Yes.
True story. Came to my attention a little while ago. Have you all seen the teaser poster? I'm sure you have. This is it right here. That's the teaser poster. It looks beautiful, right?
Yeah, I wish we got one.
So do I. We could have actually. Anyway, it's a long story. Anyway, so this is the teaser poster. It's very beautiful. Rey's on the bottom, shooting up to the sky. Luke on the left, Kylo on the right. Now, when this came out, there was a lot of talk People were analyzing it in lines while we waited for the making of Rogue One, and while we waited for Rebel. People were like, "Oh, what does the poster mean? It's all red. Why is Luke red? Why is Luke's head so big? Why is Kylo on top of Rey? What's going on?" Blah. Everyone was losing their minds over this. But I want everyone to look at Rey, because I have actually finally been home and I've watched the trailer now 3 more times. I finally see it. So, and as we all know, the Jedi must end. But there's also a weird-looking book in the movie as well, or something of sorts, and it has that logo on it.
Right.
That right there. That is the Jedi Order logo.
Yeah.
Correct? Mm-hmm. Now, when you put the two together...
Ooh, look at that!
Rey's light beam from Anakin's saber is shooting out in pretty much the same design as the Jedi Order there. Yeah. So that had me thinking.
Sorry, I'll let you finish and then
No, keep going.
How awesome would it be that like the wings going out like pointed out some kind of like secret, like it's not doing anything right now, but imagine like it made they made their faces look like Snoke or something like that. Like how awesome would that be? In that like you could like nobody knew about it, just stumble upon it. Anyways, go ahead.
That would be well, let's just say that's what happens.
Yeah.
So we look at that. Then Making Star Wars, your favorite site, comes out yesterday.
Yeah.
And they say that Luke Skywalker has a necklace in The Last Jedi.
Yeah, it's not in the trailer. It's just something they know. Okay, I was confused about that.
But it's a red kyber crystal necklace. And they are guessing, I won't say assuming, I'll say guessing, that it belonged to Darth Vader's lightsaber, which... about a month and a half ago or so, we discussed the possibility of Luke having Darth Vader's saber.
Yeah.
In Aftermath, we kind of assume that the acolytes of the Beyond take Vader's lightsaber, but whatever.
Right.
So let's go with Luke has a red kyber crystal, and it is Anakin's, and for some reason he does not heal it.
Okay.
I want to bring to you this point. If you look at the poster with and the Jedi Order, and Rey's right in the middle, who is Rey? There's got to be something with Rey and the Jedi. I'm gonna go with that's not a coincidence right there. I mean, Luke has the same pose. So now Disney has gone on, or Lucasfilm has gone on with Rebels to tell us that Luke is the chosen one. Anakin was the chosen one. Now Luke is the chosen one. Right. I guess Anakin has Luke, and so through Anakin brings the real chosen one, which is Luke.
Right.
And Luke has the exact same pose in a New Hope poster with the same beam of light coming out of that lightsaber. And now Rey has it. So what if Rey is now the new chosen one, as we've kind of speculated on before, is that new chosen one with that beam of light, and now she has Anakin's lightsaber, Luke has Darth Vader's lightsaber.
Yeah.
You put those puppies together and you have a blue and red double-bladed lightsaber. Brock.
Are you saying that's what's going to happen?
That's what's going to happen.
I can get behind everything up until the lightsaber part.
But how awesome
Because as you were talking, I was like, why does... I think the Chosen One title is kind of confusing because you think it's like they are going to bring end to something. But why can't it just be... There's always someone, like the Last Airbender, the Highlander, sort of thing.
Here's I have an answer for that. Yeah. This is the correct answer, but probably not.
Yeah.
Anakin was the chosen one in which he would bring balance to the Force. And he does so. 2 Jedi, 2 Sith. The Force is balanced. Luke, through Anakin, is the next chosen one.
Yeah.
Because he's going to bring light to the galaxy.
Right.
Or he's going to bring order. He's going to bring order to the galaxy.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
Rey now is a chosen one because she is actually going to flatline it all.
Right.
Where we talk about going gray. And I know Pablo Hidalgo said there's no such thing as a gray Jedi. I don't care because he's saying there's no such thing as a gray Jedi because a Jedi wouldn't be gray. A Jedi would be a Jedi and a Sith would be a Sith. But there is gray. Yeah. It's mentioned all over. And I'm going to read you something, Brock.
Okay.
This is from, it's a novelization of a couple of books. The first is from the novelization of the film The Force Awakens.
Yeah.
This is from the Journal of the Whills. First comes the day, then comes the night. After the darkness shines through the light, the difference, they say, is only made right by the resolving of gray through refined Jedi sight. Okay?
Interesting.
That's from the Force Awakens novelization.
I was watching a video and someone actually read most of that. I didn't remember the end part, but yeah, interesting.
So right there, through refined Jedi sight, I think if you start looking, and then through Aftermath Empire's End, which I believe, and Andrew and I bring this up at a small piece in our review, but the truth in our soul is that nothing is true. The question of life is what then do we do? The burden is ours, to penance we hew. The Force binds us all from a certain point of view.
Okay.
Now, everyone took that as, he's making fun of Obi-Wan's certain point of view
like
line.
Jedi Dr. Seuss.
Yeah, and seriously it is. But this is the Journal of the Whills, and this is in the books, and they throw them in there. And we know, because of Rogue One, that the Whills are a thing, exist, and Kyber crystals are a thing, and all that. So now, it says right in it that you have to know that is only made right by resolving of gray. And I think when Luke now says the time for the Jedi must end, he's got this. There's that bookshelf in the trailer, and the hand goes on it. And at first I was like, "Oh, whose hand is that?" But now maybe it could be Luke's. It could be a vision as well. Yeah. But it could be Luke's hand, and maybe he's learning this. And he says, and what I said about the prequels a few weeks ago, where the prequels, the Jedi lost their way. Yeah. And now he knows that they've lost their way, because with Jedi, there's always going to be a Snoke type character, which you say which you've been saying forever as well.
Yeah, I mean, they're always. I think it's interesting that Pablo Hidalgo is saying there's no gray Jedi. Maybe it's a specific turn of phrase, and maybe it's not called gray or whatever. I mean, we got, but it does seem to be leaning towards that there's some new level of Jedi wielding, Force wielding. It's interesting because it's like, what's the best part of Star Wars? The Jedis. Yeah. So like, let's get real. We got one more movie for sure in the saga coming out, and then a myriad of 20 other ones. Like, they're not gonna get rid of the Jedi, even if it's you're always gonna want it, and the Force is around and it's cool, whatever. So, yeah, maybe it's an evolution to a new thing. Like, now, I mean, if we look at it from a business standpoint, from Disney, like, having to deal with all these expanded universe things, it's like, no, we're going to get rid of the Jedi and the Sith, and we're going to start something new, because now you can, like, I know that's an easy way to just say, like, now this is how we erase our past, but let's get real. This is, like, everyone gets worried about, like, after Carrie Fisher's passing, it's like, oh, what's this going to do to the movies? It's like, well, it is what it is. Like, stuff happens all the time. And even the past movies, it's all about what they, like, these people aren't real people. They're actors. So it's like, if there's a new regime change happening in how we look at the galaxy, that's pretty sweet. I think. I'm excited. I mean, look at Rogue One. That was a huge, like, gamble, and I think it paid off great.
Do you think they could go with Jedi must end, Gray takes over, no more Jedi, trilogy ends, we go back, we see a bunch of spin-offs, then they're like, okay, let's bring it back, and someone's like, we need to rebuild the Jedi Order. Right. And it's like some young kid or something like that, and they're like, we're going to do this, we're going to take this Jedi Order, and we're going to make it what it should have been all along. Right. And that could build up a new trilogy or quadrilogy or whatever.
Well, they haven't announced the third Star Wars anthology movie, correct? Is there rules on what the movie can be about? Can it be about something current?
It can be whatever they want.
Like, maybe
we're going to talk about in the news what the number one rumor is.
Right. But we could, the third one could easily be something about the restoration of some kind of force wielding order or something like that. That would be cool. I mean, I think growing up in our generation, where we weren't really the initial audience for this, even though we were kids, it's kind of like we were both super young. Like, you probably had action figures before I did. I came in when the 90s re-released, when Hasbro, or was it Kenner? Kenner still had it. So I was like, what is this? And then, so growing up with this expanded universe slowly developing, the coolest thing about it was, you get to see what happens after, right? Because it's like you got to see the academy being built and stuff like that. Like I bought there's one of my books in here. There's just a picture of Luke with his Jedi Academy. I'm like, oh, that's so awesome. And half of them are aliens, so it's sort of like why people kind of get interested in the Jedi Council and the prequels, even though you don't see it much. You see it more in Clone Wars. It's like, oh, that's so cool. I don't know. Maybe I'm just.
I think we're going to see some of that Jedi Order that Luke's building up, and I think we're going to see have you noticed in the trailer? There's that vision. You see Luke and R2 in front of the flames, which is definitely a continuation or the beginnings of when he puts his hand on R2, and then you see Phasma emerge from the flames. Is that part of the Force vision?
No, because I rewatched it this morning. I mean, it could be. I'm not.
Or is that when she blows up post ship there? Probably
because the rubble in the front and just I think the floor has a sheen to it, so it's a floor. It's not ground, so it looks more like the explosion of the rebel.
Those
hangar.
are two. No, I know those are two separate things, but I wonder how much Phasma we're going to get and where they're going to put Phasma now.
It's a good question. I mean,
because now they have the book and the comic coming out, so they're definitely trying to correct what everybody felt was wrong.
Yeah,
in the first one.
I know there's a struggle. Like we know that the new First Order is going to make a huge strike, even though they lost their base. It's like, okay, we're out in the open now. Let's do what we've been planning to do. So definitely, there seems to be a hit on Takar. Is that where the Force the resistant bases that we see?
Yeah.
So very easily, Phasma could be in that.
Do you think Snoke still trusts Kylo Ren?
I think Snoke's relationship to Kylo Ren is similar to the Emperor and Vader. Like, it's if they fail, it's kind of good, or if he fails, it's fine, because the Master's always, even though they aren't Sith, but you know what I mean. Like, I think he wants Kylo Ren to fail because then he can constantly throw in his face that it's like, well, you don't have your stuff together, so.
Snoke is such. We talked last week about his black kyber crystal.
Yeah.
And now, so he has Kylo Ren, who is using, who Snoke is using, because we learned that from Han Solo. Han Solo tells us that he is using them, and then when he gets what he wants, he'll destroy him. But what does he want? And Rob and I have an Unleashed where we talk about possibly he wants Kylo's body. He wants to immerse in his body. And now Winter Star sent an email saying that the black kyber crystal can, it's like a soul eater of sorts also. That can be used to eat souls. So now we have that on top of it, but we also have Rey now, who is that big Jedi in the middle of that Jedi Order emblem.
Right.
And he says, bring her to me. So now he might want that girl. So the possibility now is open that Kylo may never be redeemed necessarily in the traditional sense. But what if Snoke goes after Rey and then Kylo feels betrayed by Snoke and Kylo doesn't turn into a good guy? He just wants to kill Snoke. And then this movie becomes Kylo, Snoke, and Luke and Rey. Yeah. And that's your 3-part there. And Kylo hates everyone and Sand. He hates everyone, and Luke doesn't hate, but Luke is after Snoke because he wants to protect everyone, and Rey doesn't really know what's going on, so she's a danger to the dark side as well because but Snoke wants to get Rey, and he wants to live within her or something like that.
Right. The problem is we don't know any of the motivations. Like we don't know what Snoke's up to. We don't know what it's very interesting that Snoke and Luke in both movies are kind of similar. They're foils to each other. So you don't know what Luke is up to. You don't know what Snoke's up to. You know a little bit more about Snoke in the movie because he's a new character, so you have to introduce who he is. But you're like, does he control the Force? Yes, he says, did you sense this? But you don't he's a hologram. You don't know the capacity of his power whatsoever. Then you have Rey and you have Kylo, who are both two lost characters. Even though Kylo understands, Ben Solo understands how the Force works, he gets disenfranchised by something and becomes Kylo Ren. And Rey just doesn't know who she is, or at least she doesn't know. Her past is so muddled that she doesn't know where it's all going. So it's very interesting. We could say that I'm not saying it's wrong, but it's just like, what is the motivation? Maybe that's one reason why people don't like Force Awakens. Which again, I'll get to that in a second. Force Awakens, because it's just like, well, like, what is the like? Force Awakens is a good movie, but I'm dumbfounded by how many people don't like it, and it's just like, I don't care for it. But like when they say it's like, it's like they just like spat on something bad, like, or like, this is like, oh, I don't like I don't believe in my country. It's like, it's okay to not like a movie, but like, it's not a terrible movie.
The problem with Rogue One is it's a prologue.
Yeah.
Or so, Rogue One, Force Awakens, it's a prologue. It's like it gives you, these are your new characters.
Yeah. It's like,
they're fun.
This is the state of the galaxy, and now here we go. Which you could easily argue is what New Hope does too, because it's like, this is the good guys, this is the bad guys, these are the guys you're
the difference though is New Hope is it could be a standalone.
Exactly.
Like,
well,
it doesn't need anything else. It lives on its own. Whereas Force Awakens, the problem with Force Awakens is when we left the theater, we're like, well, Rey must have got trained by Luke when she was a child, or something, you know. And that's the problem is we're guessing, we're putting assumptions into things.
Guessing so hard.
And they gave you questions, and the problem that I always had with it was they purposely don't give you the answers to it. They're like, oh no, we'll go there, no, and but that's the new way of storytelling as well. It's like, it's funny that, like, you know, they all want to hate on the prequels and everything, but the new way of storytelling is faster, more intense, which was George Lucas's only direction. It's so funny that like he, you know, that's not a good direction, but that's what movies are nowadays. They're faster, more intense.
I mean, if Fast and the Furious can go to 8 movies over the span of 20 years, like, you don't have to like movies. You don't have to like everything. It's just, you don't like it, cool. Like, people just say like, oh, how dare you make this movie? Like, what?
Well, when movies make a lot of money, people just hate those movies.
Yeah.
Because they're in your face more, right? Although, I will say this. We were gone when Fast and the Furious came out. Or Fate of the Eight, or whatever it's called. So that thing came out, and I was like, I think one day I was like, I wonder how it did, because I had no idea. I lived under a rock at Celebration for all that time. I didn't know what was going on.
Yeah.
And now I find out it's making a ton of money. Yeah. But it's weird how it's like under the radar a lot of money almost, because I'm still looking at it and like no one's really talking about this movie. I met somebody that saw it and he's like, it was good. I'm like, really? He goes, yeah, I liked it. And I was like, did you like the last one? No. I was like, all right. But they keep...
people keep seeing... That's the thing. You can criticize these movies as much as you want. And somebody said it to me at work recently. It was like, I didn't really like it. I'm like, that's okay. I mean, there's about to be like 10 more of these movies coming out. You're bound to hate something.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to like everything.
I did not like that last one at all. The Paul Walker thing was nice. But the ones before it with The Rock, like they were terrible, but they were fun terrible. And you're like, yeah, I could sit through this.
I think we all went to see Fast 5, and I was like, why are they so sweaty?
Yeah, The Rock. Well, they make fun of that on his trailers with The Rock.
Why are you sweaty all the time? Side Akbar, Beauty and the Beast apparently just knocked out Star Wars: A New Hope for top 10 box office.
Is that adjusted for inflation?
No, that's a very good question. Hey, that's valid. That's very valid.
I think, again, these numbers don't make any sense either when you look at it. Avatar made $2 billion, which is amazing. Yeah. I'm not saying it's not amazing, but that was 3D sales. Yeah. The Dark Knight, the second one, The Dark Knight, it made $500 million, but that's all 2D sales. So if you add the extra, but it makes $1 billion. Yeah. So it's like, how do you judge anything? Those numbers mean nothing anyway. No, exactly. I mean, you know, you go to a VIP theater here, you're paying $20 a ticket. You can go to the strip mall and see it for $6.99 or $2 on a Tuesday, and you're seeing the same movie and it's making less money.
How many more worldwide theaters are there now in comparison to 30 years ago? But that's just so that people can say their movie was successful, because it's like, we made our money back. Yeah, because that's what, again, like, I don't want to ruin my love of Star Wars, but like, these are movies. This is a business. They have to make their money back.
They have to, but
it's just with Star Wars, it's pretty much a foregone conclusion that they're going to do that. Like,
I would like to know, if take all of The Force Awakens, because that made almost $2 billion. Right. Take all that, and then you take say Empire Strikes Back or Jedi, whichever was the higher of the two. Yeah. Or no, let's take New Hope. Let's take New Hope, the very first one, and let's take the budget out of it and the marketing out of it, and I wonder what the percentage of of earnings to spend is.
Right.
That would be interesting to see, because now they spend so much more on marketing.
Yeah, like it's almost to a point where some movies are like, I don't even remember this being in theaters or on seeing commercials or ads for this, but it is. So many movies are like that. Like this, I think some of my favorite movies in the last few years, you almost heard nothing about it.
Can you name one?
Dope. That was a great movie.
It came out in August, I believe.
Okay. But did you see commercials for it? No. I saw it on the See, that's another thing. It's like marketing and ads are, it's like internet. Who cares about TV? I mean, people care about TV, but you know what I mean? Like I see most of my trailers and movie news and TV news on the internet, but that's just the life I lead.
Isn't it annoying when you go online to watch a trailer and they put a commercial in front or a trailer for another movie in front of the trailer, and then they do that, and then you have to watch like that 10-second clip of the trailer you're about to watch, which ruins the best part of the trailers you're about to watch, which probably is going to ruin the movie you're going to go see.
But it works because like I usually skip through ads, except like when it's a movie or a trailer for like a video game, a TV show, or a movie. I'll watch that.
I'm not gonna lie, I skip them all. Because I'm watching a commercial. Don't make me watch a commercial before the commercial.
By the way, watch all of our ads when you watch our videos.
Oh, I don't skip through ads on YouTube. I skip them on IMDb.
Oh,
Amazon Web Services. Can't get enough of those web services. So what else do you think is going to happen in the Star Wars The Last Jedi motion picture event of the year? Comes out in December.
I don't know. Like it's obviously a main focus on Luke and Rey. I want to see what
is the main focus on Luke and Rey, or are they giving us Luke and Rey right now because they know?
Yeah. No, but that's what I was going to say. It's like we haven't seen Kylo or Snoke, and it's clear that like they will be in the same room at some point. It's so like we're not seeing that. Like Maz Kanata hasn't even appeared, and she's supposed to be in it, right?
I think it'll be probably another small role.
Yeah, which is fine. But
it's funny how much people have turned on Maz Kanata now too.
Why?
People don't seem to like her as much.
Okay. But like,
I think she should be in the Han Solo movie.
Yeah, that'd be sweet. I like that.
I mean, if he's gonna know her and you're gonna make it a point that he knows her and she's not in any other movie, put her in that one.
It's like, you know what it is like we have all these characters and we don't know where they're gonna fall. Like, is R2 gonna stay with Luke now that he's back online? You know, where does BB-8 stay with Rey at all? I mean, we know they weren't together at the end, and you know, if you read Poe Dameron, like the relationship between BB-8 and Poe is very big. So it's like Luke and R2. So where does BB-8 end up? Do we even see BB-8 in the trailer? No, we don't.
No, he was on stage though. They know we want BB-8.
Oh yeah. It's so easy. I mean, who would you rather have? So, well, I guess. He's still technically piloted by a person, but it's like it's easier just to put a robot that goes beep boop 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 than have to deal with an actor. But whatever, that's kind of harsh.
So BB-8 is. They say in the panel they did say that BB-8 was going to be a great. He stole a lot of the scenes, and the editors were like, "More, he can't get enough BB-8."
J.J. Abrams is like, you can't shoot enough of him. Like you have to have him.
Do you think it was on that Last Jedi panel? Do you think it was telling or surprising or anything? When Daisy Ridley said in regards to Luke, it was like meeting your hero and they weren't what you expected. Because there was a gasp when we watched it. People were like, oh, and I was like, that's kind of what we've kind of been thinking. Yeah. Because otherwise, first of all, it's not interesting if they just get along right away. Yeah. Hey, oh yeah, come on, here's how you use a lightsaber. This is perfect. I think. But looking at the trailer and her saying that, I don't think it's going to be quite what we expect. We were talking about where he's kind of like, no, the Jedi are bad. But I think he's going to say, no, you can't be a Jedi. Jedi is not the way it should be. Yeah. Blah, blah, blah. Let's go talk. Blah, blah. The Jedi need to end. Touch here. And then she's going to have a Force vision. And then she's going to come out and go, that thing.
Yeah, that's sweet. Yeah. He's like the opposite end of... He's like the opposite of Obi-Wan, where he's this hermit that's just been disillusioned, and he prefers to wait rather than Obi-Wan, who's like just waiting to there, like watching and protecting sort of thing. Like Obi-Wan is always, he's peculiar when you first meet him, but seems pretty nice. I think it's going to be the opposite with Luke. So
I wouldn't mind seeing a kid who hasn't watched the original trilogy. Mm-hmm. Maybe they've seen the prequels, but now they're going to step into this one.
Yeah,
so I want to see what their reaction to Luke is. I can't imagine there's going to be too many going into it because The Force Awakens, if they like that, then the parents or whoever would have been like, "Well, go back, let's watch these ones now."
Right, yeah.
So there probably wouldn't be too much. It's almost unfortunate that Luke, we have to wait this long for Luke for that generation, for a generation that's going into it probably for the first time to see them, because we got Obi-Wan right away. Not that there were the prequels before, but we got like the Obi-Wan, like this is the old wise Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
Now it's like this is the old wise Luke.
Yeah.
But he's a different kind of wise because he left and searched for these relics and these artifacts, and now he's got the Journal of the Whills, and he's learning the Journal of the Whills, and he's researching the Whills, and he's figuring something out.
Yeah. I don't know, it should be. That's a good point. I just like, my cousin has sons that all love Star Wars, and they're under 10. I think the oldest is 10 or 11 by this point. But he introduced them pretty quickly, and he would have probably shown them the original trilogy. Yeah. So I don't know, like they're talking to kids. Sometimes it's like you really have to coax it out of them. Like they're more into concepts than like, or not concepts. Yeah, they're like, oh, that guy's cool because it goes zoom zoom zoom. Like you're not gonna get like, who is this guy? Or I don't know.
I think it'd be more
interesting.
It would be a better study if you grabbed an adult-ish person, and have them, okay, watch Force Awakens, watch Last Jedi. What are your thoughts on Luke? Mm-hmm. And then maybe watch 9, and then go back and watch them, just to see what this perspective. Because I know people were doing that with the prequels. People watched the prequels before they saw the original trilogy.
Yeah. And
those people love the prequels, and they prefer them to the. There are people that prefer the prequels to the original trilogy, which is totally fine. I don't know why it's like in the Fast and the Furious more than you like Star Wars. It happens.
Yeah.
Because the Fast and the Furious is about family.
Yeah, mi familia.
And Coronas. It's about family and Coronas.
You can drink anything as long as it's Corona.
I am seeing the fate of the whatever it's called next week, so I'm really excited.
Enjoy.
Aaron is a huge fan, and Daryl's coming. Your good old friend Daryl. He's coming.
Don't put this on.
It's your fault. I have to go sit through this.
Yeah.
And I'm really excited for The Last Jedi and Rey's double-bladed saber, which is blue and red. Do you think? Wait. Double-sided blade, but it's yellow. Blue and red make yellow.
No, they do not. They make purple.
Whoa! Could it be a purple? No, but anyway. But what? No, but what if Kyber Crystal land? They make yellow.
Yeah.
Well, they could make purple though. She could have a purple blade, which would be kind of sweet to see another. Purple
it's a
blade.
double blade, like the sword in Halo, where it's like. Yeah, that makes that noise. I don't know, man. We're seeing blue, but even like when we originally watched that trailer at Celebration, we're like, that could just be a psych out, and it could be any color. We
said
really
that
don't know.
We said that on the very first Scavenger Scum. Is like, is Rey with? Because now all the marketing is Rey with Anakin's lightsaber.
Right.
The marketing for Force Awakens was Finn with that lightsaber.
Yeah.
Like, is that the red herring, and she's going to end up with something else? It doesn't have to be a double, but maybe it's a purple, maybe it's a red, maybe it's a yellow. But is that the red herring? Does Luke go back to Anakin? Because now the rumor is also with that Kyber Crystal that Luke has his green lightsaber with him.
Yeah.
Does Luke have both now, and he fights with both? Does General Grievous show up?
Oh, that'd be sweet. He could. He's a robot.
That'd be so awesome. They would never do that. No. Oh, you never know. You never know. But anyway, speaking of never knowing, let's go into a little segment we like to call...
Never Tell Me the...
Odds. I'm glad you took that because I was not going to say anything.
Odds.
We've been doing this much too long.
Never tell them.
As always, we have 3 odds.
3 odds.
The first odd is... Brock?
Yeah.
The odds of the Millennium Falcon being destroyed in The Last Jedi.
Why do you do this to me?
Because here's why. We see it in the trailer and it's flying frantically, possibly from the Knights of Ren making their way to Acto, possibly that, and is frantically flying away. And we also know that even though this is not a J.J. Abrams directed film, that in both Star Trek films that he did, the Enterprise got destroyed. It also got destroyed in the third one, which he just produced and did not direct. And this would be one that he produced and not direct, so the Millennium Falcon could possibly go bye-bye.
I think there's I hate to say it, but I think that would be crazy if they did it. Like, and I think they should.
Ooh,
I don't want to say it.
Go in there. I'm
going to go 80% because it's like, I think that would be devastating and that'd be the right move. I don't want it to happen, but like, oh, imagine that. Like the Falcon gets blown up. Like, oh, see, that would be more devastating to me than Rey being a Skywalker. I'm like, but I think I said before, I can't remember why I brought it up, but I was like, wouldn't it be cool if the Falcon just went away and then in like 4 movies it comes back and you're like, oh. But it'd be basically the same effect of the end of A New Hope where like Han comes back and saves, well, not saves the day, but helps, prevents Luke from being blown up.
I'm severely sad right now at the thought of the Falcon being destroyed. I'm going to go 1%.
I think we're heading into a status quo change, James.
Or 101%. I'm gonna go.
I don't want it to happen. I think it would be a ballsy move if they did it. And I think they have to do something.
I think, you know, even though it's in The Force Awakens, it's not even really in The Force Awakens. Like, it's just there in the Force. And I'm not putting that down. I mean, it serves its purpose. Like, it has a fun little ride at the beginning, so it gets its swan song at the beginning there, and then after that, it's basically just a set piece.
Yeah, exactly.
Right, like it's not like we got to go in the Falcon. It's like it's basically
that doesn't really do any fun space battles.
No, just that one at the beginning.
Yeah,
which could be it. So I think it's a possibility that it could go bye bye. So I'm gonna go 1 or 101%. I can't.
You're going full James.
I'm going full James. Now second odds. The odds of, and if you have not seen this week, this has to do with this week's vote of no confidence. If you haven't seen that, check it out. It is odds of Luke lying to Rey in some capacity in The Last Jedi.
I think there's 60%. 50. I think it's. I wasn't gonna go 50-50. 60%, because I think, just in how past Jedis share information, they kind of, it's not lying, but they mix up the truth.
But you don't think that because of Luke learning that would change his ways, and now he'd be like, no, I'm gonna go 30%. I'm gonna say he's gonna say too much of the truth to Rey, where he should lie. He's actually gonna tell the truth, and that could be his downfall.
See, it's hard to say because it's like, it's not like he was in Force Awakens and said a bunch of things. So it's like anything he says, it's sort of like he's not like Rey and him don't have a relationship yet. So like what could he lie to? And as we've seen so far, it's like it looks like there's going to be huge change in just how everything rolls off. So I don't know.
Well, you know what I think.
30%. Yeah. Okay. What's
the
next odd?
The last odd, the final odd, and this one, I think you might like this one. Mm-hmm. And I think this is a great one, too. The odds of Ewoks appearing in The Last Jedi.
100%. Just saying. Give them what they want. It doesn't even have to be main part of the story. You can just like, look, there's Ewoks. Assuming they go to Endor for
the rumor is they're going. I'm going to go full Brock.
Ooh.
Which you get the full Brock t-shirt on TeePublic. I really want them to encounter Ewoks. I don't want them to just be dead on the ground. Like there was that rumor in Force Awakens that they were dead on the ground.
Right.
I would like Ewoks to be there. I would love it if Wicket showed up. We know Warwick Davis is in this film.
Yeah.
I would love it if he came back as Wicket. That would be phenomenal. Even if it's just a small little, farewell Ewok type thing. I don't want them to die off though. I think it'll be cool. I think Ewoks are going to be a Battlefront too. I mean, they can't not be because the story starts off on Endor. They can't not be there. So I'm going to go full Brock on this one because there's a huge. They have an opportunity if they go to Endor to do it, but will they?
They're going to go to Endor. They're going to see Ewoks, which will allow for hashtag bring back Teak.
Could you imagine if we don't see any Ewoks, but Teak goes bing, bing, and Teak
what is that?
And you're in the theater.
And Phasma's like, my old friend.
And she takes on rats. Call me Sindel.
Call me Sindel.
Call me Sindel.
Call me Caitlin. Oh, man.
Ah!
Never tell me the...
It's time for Hollow News.
Hollow News.
Hollow
News.
Brock, what's our first news story today?
Oh, that's a good point. Can you bring up the graphics so I can remember? I think it's Mr. Robot, the director of Mr. Robot, Sam Esmail. Am I pronouncing that right? Mr. Astromech. There's been a lot of talk that he might be a director in a future Star Wars movie because he's one of many that has had meetings with Lucasfilm / Disney / Marvel / Kathleen Kennedy, which would be awesome because if you've watched Mr. Robot, have you watched Mr. Robot?
I have not.
It's a good show. I have not watched the second season, but great show. And I think he did an indie film that was sort of sci-fi called Comet. I have not seen it. But he knows how to do really cool characters and stuff like that. And definitely gets a hold of the sci-fi grounded in reality. So like Mr. Robot, like that could occur. But he's kind of, I don't know, it's just like, I guess it's a sci-fi. I mean, well, anyways, that would be really cool. It'd be a really cool director just to take to his own take on something. Because you could argue Mr. Robot isn't a new idea, but like, it's engaging enough. So, yay!
The rumor is now, I read today, I can't remember where, so I can't credit them, but I read somewhere today that the rumor is actually they're asking him to write the Obi-Wan film.
Oh, that's right, the Obi-Wan. I forgot. I knew there was something else. The Obi-Wan film, which would be, I don't know.
I still want to know what that's about. You know, when I was in line for the closing ceremonies, everyone in front of me in that line was like, Ewan McGregor showing up. We're getting that Obi-Wan announcement. And they were all doing it. And I think I told you, I text Andrew Fantasia.
Yeah.
And I said, everyone here is gearing up for disappointment. Like, because when you found out how they were doing the closing ceremonies, it was no one's coming out. Like, it's not happening.
No, yeah.
You know, there was a couple cool little things for us there, not for everyone else. It wasn't a media event. It was, you know, a celebration event. And that was the difference. But D23 is coming up in Anaheim, I believe, this year.
Yeah.
Look for it there. Their site actually says they mentioned Star Wars right off the bat. I think look for Obi-Wan Kenobi at D23. Is what I will say.
Cool. And then Ahsoka lives. Rosario Dawson is still on a warpath to be the live-action version of Ahsoka Tano. Everybody's favorite, whatever she is. She was on, I think, the Today Show on ABC. What's their morning show? And just brought it up. I guess the question was maybe like, I should have watched the video, but whatever. I think the question was like, what would you want to be? And she brought this up. Like, she's fully aware of this character because this is a fan made picture. I believe this is from Boss Logic from Instagram, who does a lot of this like Photoshop movie style. Like, it takes a actual picture and then puts all the stuff around. He does some really cool stuff. He did a lot of Green Lantern stuff. But she's on board to do this. And she thinks maybe there is a possibility because apparently Disney, I think, follows her on Twitter. So she's like, that must mean something.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
So that would be cool. I know people are already starting. I think there's already a huge petition to get Ahsoka back into something. I'd be for it. I mean, it looks like this picture kind of looks cool. Her face looks like a butterfly, but whatever. That's what the face looks like. But
I wonder how an Ahsoka-led film would do in terms of revenue. I know all the fans are clamoring for it. Like Josh from Den Nerds went to that Marvel panel, and they were like, what does everyone want? And everybody there apparently was all Ahsoka. But those are the diehard fans.
Yeah.
Do you get everyday moviegoers into an Ahsoka standalone, or do you put her in with a group of other people, or how would you get that to go?
I don't know. It's like this movie of Rosario Dawson with all this stuff on her. I don't know if she's ever done a role like this. I'm not saying she couldn't do a role, but like she's usually, you just see her plain face.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah. I mean, I could make a huge argument, but, like, just make the movie. Who cares? Like, I will get it. I'll be into it. Oh, okay. So next story. You did not send this one to me. Do you know what the story's about?
Yeah, they just had their Disney half marathon. It was a Dark Side Star Wars half marathon.
Oh, cool.
And a Brazilian runner won the race. And I've been looking to do the Star Wars 10K. I can't do marathons. I can't do half marathons.
No.
Look at me.
There you are.
I'm not in shape. Aaron has done a half marathon. My parents have done full marathons. Kristen has done half marathon. My sister has done it. And I usually am like, no. But I will plan on doing, hopefully in a year, the 10K Star Wars 10K run.
Yeah.
Because it's fun. And the pack that you get, the goodie bag that they give you, is the swag bag, as it is phenomenal. You get a lot of great stuff. So if you run, that's one that's probably worth checking out. I've never actually run it, obviously. It sells out in like 12 seconds. Like you in 12 parsecs. You can't even...
It's faster than the Kessel Run.
Yeah, it is. You can't get in there. It's really hard to get in. So hopefully I can do that. Otherwise, I want to do a Disney one because those swag bags are amazing. They cost a fortune to get into.
Yeah.
But you're running around Disneyland, Disney World.
Yeah, that's got to be
sweet. How do you not?
McDonald's. They have announced their new uniforms for their workers. And saw a complaint about this already just because of like how drab it looks, but the internet being who it is, said they look like Imperial officers. Yes, they do. I wish the hat was a little bit more like it. That would be sweet. I would go to McDonald's more. But I wish they would spend more time on making their food more appetizing than just being drab, spending all this money to make... Like, that doesn't look comfortable, what they have to wear.
It does look like a very Imperial. Like it looks very futuristic. It has an apron though, actually.
Yeah, but it looks thick. It looks like they're thick pieces of cloth. So
you know what you want when you're making greasy in a greasy hot kitchen, to wear thick clothing.
Yeah, like I guess it would protect you from grease, but like the heat. Oh God.
You just imagine. I don't know.
And then our final story.
You brought this one up.
Yeah, I contributed. Making Star Wars my least favorite website.
Should we say that that's not Han Solo?
That is not Han Solo.
Yeah, the graphic and the picture don't go together.
Anyways, they have found out that there is a character in the Han Solo movie called Dryden Voss, which means nothing. But for Star Wars fans, the last name Voss will set off alarm bells because one of the most popular characters, I would argue, I think he would be like the Boba Fett of the expanded universe during the prequel era, is Quinlan Voss, this Jedi that was just very, very popular. He was a background character in Phantom Menace that popped out for the creators of, or the guys currently at the time working on the comic Star Wars Republic, which was more about the Clone Wars. So it was what we had before Clone Wars. The cartoon was sort of getting popular. I think they both came out roughly at the same time. But anyways, Quinlan Voss became like a fan favorite because he was kind of like an Anakin character in the sense that he doesn't follow the rules and he often blends on like what side of the Force he is. But he's Anakin without the drama. And the comic was I read it and it was very interesting because he just do crazy stuff. I think when we were talking about the story, he's like the Deadpool of the Lucas or the Star Wars universe, where he kind of just gets away with whatever he wants. He's sort of a gray area. He's good, he's bad. Because a lot of the missions he would go on, he would infiltrate like the bad guys, so the Confederacy and like there was a point I think they put him in Clone Wars for one episode, and he does sort of succumb to the dark side. And there's a lot, but I think he is saved by Asajj Ventress, and ironically they had one novel come out with just them, right? Yeah. What was that one called? Shadow?
Dark Disciple.
Dark Disciple.
That was the one that was actually a Clone Wars episode or episodes, and they never got made, so they did not. But which was written by Christy Golden, who's doing the Battlefront 2
right
Inferno Squad book, which is interesting because she also did they're both based on scripts basically. So she seems to be the one that they go to for that.
But it was a fan favorite, and then as the years have gone by, we've learned a lot more. Like, it's a very popular character in George Lucas loved the idea of Quinlan Vos, even though he technically didn't really create him. He just there was just an extra that looked like him in the back on Tatooine. But there was talk that he was going to be in the canceled Underworld Star Wars game where we would have met Saw Gerrera, and then Han and Lando and Chewie would have been there. So, like, the fact that his name is somewhat popping up in Han Solo, like, maybe that's cool. We know nothing. It's interesting, but I don't know if I think we've said have we said that, like, there shouldn't be any Jedi in Han Solo? I'm not against it, but
I think what the article actually makes a good point, because Han cannot be subject to the Force.
Yeah,
he cannot witness the Force being wielded whatsoever. He has to not believe in it. But if there's a Jedi in his who's flying a ship or whatever is with him, and hides the fact that he's a Jedi, because don't forget, Jedi will also be trying to be hunted down. Right. At this point, so you could easily. I don't know what the story is, but you could have a character like that in there for that point, as long as he never uses the Force.
But it's like names have been reused quite a bit in the Star Wars world. Voss could easily be a Smith or a Johnson. Right?
Oh, easily.
So that would be cool. It's neat. Tip of the hat.
I hope that's not their Dryden Voss. What I hope that's not like the casting calls Dryden Voss. You're actually playing Quinlan Voss. Don't tell anyone. It's kind of weird that it would be like that's not hiding.
If he had the yellow bar over his face and that was the only link, I'd be like, cool, whatever.
Yeah, it's. I don't think it shouldn't be.
So I mean, maybe like they talked about Michael B. Richards who played Omar on The Wire. Maybe he could play a character like that. That'd be cool.
But he's already kind of been in the movies. Like, he's an extra.
Yeah, so I know. Yeah, you can change the whole.
You could replace with. Is it raining? What's happening? Is that a garbage truck? Is it? Garbage truck? I don't know if you guys.
What a great microphone! It's garbage day, and the window's open. So that's Holo News. Yay!
We're on to books and comics. Brock,
I don't have comics in the traditional sense, but I have this. May the Force be with her. It's a zine I picked up at Fan Expo this year by two. What's the name on the front? Caitlin Fairbarns and Sophie Pass Long, who they have a Lang. they have a website where they do a lot of this sort of to push the feminists or the female character in popular culture, and they do the art is really cool where they have like they don't have the hard lines. It's just sort of like, here's the shadow of the face. They do a lot of stuff. They do Marvel, but this one I picked it up. They have pretty much every female character mentioned, more or less. So Zam
Wessel.
Zam Wessel.
Like, I like Zam Wessel.
We don't know if it's a woman or not, but so it's cool. They have a website, Space and Time Collective, which you can see a lot of their stuff, and this doesn't have any Jin in it, Jyn Erso, because it's way before this. So maybe they've updated it. So this probably came out right after. They probably did this right after Force Awakens came out. So check out their website, Space and Time Collective. It's a Tumblr site, but it's really cool. Their art is really dope, and I was like, I forgot to show this. So
that's really cool.
Do you have a book?
I'm still reading Thrawn.
Yay!
We should be done this week. Like for Andrew and we're gonna do an Unleashed on Thrawn coming up soon.
Cool.
But that's look. I tried to read it for more on the plane.
Yeah.
But it was hard, and I was so tired at times. Like I was falling asleep while reading it. Yeah. It's a good book, don't get me wrong, but I was just really exhausted.
It's the pressure in that plane. You're just like,
yeah. And then the kid in front of me was watching Frozen on full blast, and that was driving me nuts. So it was an experience. And then and I was talking to Andrew about reading it at Celebrate, like when we were in Orlando, and it was like every time you tried to read it, something would come up, or and then I would like, I'm gonna read it tonight. Because we gotta wake up in 4 hours, so I'd fall asleep and do it. And so Thrawn, look for that coming up soon. It's actually a good book though if you're into it. read that. But if you want, I'm just going to give a recommendation for books. The Battlefront Twilight Company book does not get enough love. I know it's not Bloodline. I know it's not Aftermath. It's not Thrawn. It's Battlefront. It's a video game. But I'm telling you, especially if you liked Rogue One, go out and read Battlefront. It's a standalone story, but I'm telling you right now, you're not going to be disappointed. And if you are, Brock sent you.
Top 5! Top 5, standing by. What is today's top 5
today?
Yeah, you do.
Oh, I don't know. I didn't even read it. I made it.
You make up the top 5.
Today has to do with the thing we were just doing. Is top 5 comics we would like to see happen. Boom!
As a movie? Or I can't...
Comics. Comics.
So I can just make something up?
What you want to see in a comic book form. Number 5 for me, I'm going to go first. Quinlan Vos and Han Solo.
Technically, they did that. But...
I know. My number 5, true story.
Yeah.
Watto and Anakin. I want to see how Watto treated Anakin and how Anakin built things when he was young.
Yeah, yeah.
And it would be 5 issues, so don't get mad at me, but that would be cool. Yeah.
Ewoks. That's it. Okay, bye.
That's it. Seriously, there's no, just Ewoks.
Just run with it.
All right, what's your number 4?
Number 4 for me would... See, it's kind of hard to say certain things. I guess, okay. I think I said before, but just anything between Return of the Jedi and Force Awakens. Just show me the adventures of Luke and Ben. I'm in.
Yeah, that's what I was just going to say. Mine is going to be Luke and Ben as well.
Yeah.
Kind of like the Obi-Wan and Anakin that we have here. Something like that where before he turns to the dark side, but he's still young enough.
Yeah,
and then go on little adventures and stuff like that. That would be a lot of fun.
Right.
Number 3 for me. I don't know how you're going to feel about this one.
Yeah. Number
3, Zam Wessel and Jango Fett. Or Zam Wessel. Somewhere along those lines of a bounty hunter like that. Zam Wessel, though, because she's a changeling.
Yeah.
That would be a cool.
Then you could throw in Cad Bane.
Anything is possible in that.
What's the bounty hunter? The white with the big ponytail. She was in the Darth Maul comic with...
Yeah.
Anyways, my number 3 would be... Oh, I had it in my head. What was it? Oh, God. Curse you and your distractions. What was it? Number 3. Oh, Underworld in Coruscant. I mean, we've been wanting to see it forever. Or just call it Coruscant and model it after the Gotham show. It's like, here's a young Sheev Palpatine. I don't know. Well, they're actually, have you seen Side Akbar? They're doing a show called Krypton, and it's about, like, Superman's grandfather. No. I'm like, wow. I actually kind of want to watch that.
I'd watch it, too. It'd be weird.
But yeah, like, something about Coruscant, because like you've said before, we don't get a lot of it. Well, I guess the comics get a lot of it, but you know what I mean? Like Underworld, Coruscant, kind of avoid it.
Number 2.
The continuing adventures of R2 and C-3PO.
They had a cartoon called Droids.
They had droids, but like, let's do it for real.
Droids was real. I watched that. I had little records that taught me how to read.
Yeah.
My number 2 is Wicket. I want a Wicket standalone comic graphic novel. That would be amazing.
So what I said for Ewoks.
Yeah, but mine's number 2.
Okay.
I'm not.
Well, then my number 1 copy is yours. Tales of the Bounty Hunters. Doesn't have to be specifically like it could be short stories and maybe or they intermingle somehow. But like more Bosk, more Dengar, more Zuckuss, more Forlom, more Zam Wessel.
Who would be IG-88?
Yeah,
more IG-88.
Just put them on the Bounty Hunters.
Well, that could be that could be a stand. I think that's gonna be a standalone. I think we're gonna get the Bounty Hunter standalone film.
Yeah.
And it's going to come sooner rather than later. I don't know if that's going to be 2020. That could be 2021, 2022, but it's coming. That one is definitely coming. Too. And it's going to be led by Boba Fett because he's going to be your centerpiece and everyone will be around him.
And it appease what everybody wants, but then it kind of grows on you.
Exactly. And then hopefully the next one, Boba Fett isn't in it.
Yeah, like all you have to do is just make it a Bounty Hunters show and then model it after Sons of Anarchy. Just like... morally ambiguous storyline where it's like, oh, this guy's kind of okay, but he still kills people.
That'd be cool. I'd watch that. I mean, I'd watch anything Star Wars. My number one is pod racing.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
That'd be a fun comic.
Yeah.
It would also make a good show.
See Bunta Eve.
The Bunta Eve classic. I want more Sabalba.
Yeah.
More Ben Quad and Narrows. You know he's my boy.
Hashtag real love.
And I think that Teak should be a pod racer.
Oh, because he's super fast.
He's super fast. He doesn't race, though. He just runs.
And like, no, he's in the thing. And then when his
like
pod racer gets damaged, he's like, and he repairs it. And that's why he's so good.
That would be, I would read that too. That's the sad part is I would actually look forward to it. I wouldn't even be like, that's a good idea. I say, hey, Brock, next time you go to the comic shop, get me that. That's how I do it. That's our episode number 39. I want to show something here quickly, if you don't mind. I got this from GameStop when we were in Florida. So this is Luke. This is touching. People have these all over. I've
never seen them.
They're around. I see people on Instagram get them. I went on eBay. You can find them. But we live in Canada. This thing is impossible to find.
Yeah, I've never seen it.
There are 4 other ones. There are 5 in total. There's Vader, Obi-Wan, Leia, Han, and this is Luke. He was the only one they had. And you can't find this number 3. I guess Vader's 1, Obi-Wan's 2. Well, if anyone can find it and from a company that ships to Canada, send me the link, please.
Yeah, well, it's got to be relatively new because it's got the 40th anniversary on there. So
I saw the announcement that Hasbro did when I was looking it up, but I don't know where to get it. Except for GameStop, and it's not on their website.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah.
That's the problem about living in Canada. We don't get a lot of certain, when we were at the mall and I found all that other stuff at Think Geek, I was like, oh my God, how do I not know about this?
We're gonna be taking a trip to the United States of America very soon because we can't get enough of it anymore.
Yeah.
We can't get enough. I can't. The size of the coffee there. Unbelievable. Guys,
the price of the beer there.
The price and the size of the beer combined is unbelievable.
Yeah.
I just want to let everyone know that this Thursday on the live Denim Nerd Show, I'll be making an appearance.
Ooh.
Probably going to be talking about my favorite comic books, which is Archie. I don't know. I'm going to be on it. Don't know when. Next week is May the 4th, Be With You.
Yeah.
And Revenge of the 5th. And we are going to be having 2 very, very special episodes.
Cool.
Next week. 2 episodes next week with special guests, so you don't want to miss those.
With special guest Mark Hamill.
Mark Hamill will not be here.
His agent. Yay! Mark Hamill's agent's cousin.
Almost. But actually, that might be pretty close.
Peter Flenderson.
Well, we have some special guests coming up on both of those shows. There'll be 2 episodes.
Yeah.
One will deal with the light, one will deal with the dark. And then we have some other really cool stuff planned coming your way.
Yay!
It's gonna be sweet. It's gonna be a sweet summer. You're gonna enjoy it in the summer. I hope you enjoy it in the summer.
I hope you're cool for the summer.
Anyway, I'm James. This is
Don't Tell Your Mother, Brock.
And this is the Rebel Scum podcast, episode 39. May the force of others be with you.
Always. Coca-Cola. Oh.
Hey scumbags, thanks for watching. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up on our video. As always, please subscribe to our YouTube channel, Rebel Scum Podcast, for all the latest videos.